Welcome to the Doc Smithers Show. I am Doc Smithers, your host, coming to you from the River City, Richmond, Virginia. There's a poem by a great poet, an activist, an educator by the name of Nikki Giovanni. She penned a poem titled Choices. If I can't do what I want to do, then my job is to not do what I don't want to do. It's not the same thing, but it's the best I can do. If I can't have what I want, then my job is to want what I've got and be satisfied. That at least there is something more to want. Since I can't go where I need to go, then I must go where the signs point, though always understanding parallel movement isn't lateral. When I can't express what I really feel, I practice feeling what I can express, and none of it is equal, I know. But that's why mankind alone among the animals learns to cry. I think we're all picking up what she has put down. Gratefully and willingly bringing to you, the listener, unbiased, unadulterated, unabated information, keeping it real, relatable, and sometimes raw. Hello, podcast listeners. Thank you for your comments and requests and support. It's a fact that we all have and will continue to have experiences, days of disappointments, sadness, and sometimes even depression. Although our belief, our faith, or even our trust is in some higher being, some higher source, some higher power, some call God, the divine, the almighty, the most high. But no matter what we go through, no matter what we believe, no matter our faith or what we've been taught to trust in, no one has ever promised that our journey towards our destination would be easy. No matter our age, whether young or old, whether a teenager, an adult, or a senior citizen, days of disappointments, sadness, and even momentary periods of depression is a part of our journey in this life as we know it. But regardless of whatever you may be going through, even right now, you can believe this. If you don't believe anything else, you can believe this. That in the sanctuary, there is help, hope, and healing. In the sanctuary, there is joy, peace, and rest. Today, I witnessed something beautiful. Today, I witnessed how human nature can be. And maybe even debatable should be. I want to tell you about a special moment today that I witnessed with 3 girls at school, 3rd graders. In the middle of class, one of the girls passed a note to another girl. And I was about to tell them to put the notes away and focus and stop passing notes in class. Something told me to just pause, let it be, and just watch. So while instructing, I calmly walked by and noticed that the first line of the note said, "You really need to apologize." And then it went on. I placed my hand on the shoulder of the girl and told her that the lesson is the priority right now and that she needs to read the rest of the note later. After she completed her lesson, the girl finished reading the note. Next, she took out a piece of paper and wrote a note of her own. And I saw on the first line, "I am very sorry." And it went on. I was expecting her to give the note to the first girl. But by my surprise, she gets up and walks the note over to another girl. And I told her to please have a seat and do not get up anymore without permission again, of course. But I allowed her to give the other girl the note. And I just wanted to see what was happening, what was transpiring, what was going on. The third girl read the note and just smiled. I mean, it was the biggest smile I have seen in quite some time. I did everything I could to hold back a tear in my eye. That moment was a beautiful moment for me to witness. The 3 girls found a way to put an end to their problem without drama. I must say I was impressed. And later during recess, I saw the 3 girls giving each other a group hug. For those who read the Bible or have heard of the Bible, in the ancient writings of the Old Testament, there's a section of writings called the Book of Psalms. And according to the 73rd Psalm, the writer is going through a period in his life where doubts and disappointments seem to play with his mind. The writer is wrestling with his belief in God as he observes people whom he knows to be ungodly. People whom he knows are corrupt, evil, and just no plain good. It's from the writer's observations that he sees firsthand how people who have no respect for each other, no respect for God, tends to always gain wealth and material possessions. The ungodly appear to never get sick. They don't appear to have major problems and disappointments like other people whom are less fortunate. They appear to eat good and have all the better things in life. The ungodly appear to sit around and laugh at other people who don't have the means to live as they do. They even question God's authority and power while talking about God and God's followers. It seems like prosperity for the wicked has no limits. All they have to do is reach out and they have what they want, while those who trust in a God, while those who are devoted and devout religious followers, while those who trust in a higher being, a source, a divine entity, seem to always struggle daily. The writer is troubled by a few more issues about the ungodly. Not only are the wicked people prosperous, but they don't seem to have the worries and problems that plagues the people of God. The pride and evilness of prosperous people causes them to be cruel to people of limited means. The writer is concerned about the ungodly people. There are numerous people with prosperity who have God in their lives, and they demonstrate their love of God by doing the will of God according to the scriptures, which includes helping others. One of the many things that has never changed since the beginning of humanity is everyone experiences problems in some way or another. But it's how we all handle our problems which says a lot about our character. We all stumble and fall at some point in life. Not just once, not just twice, but many times over. But when we fall, we don't have to stay down. So often, people are sent in our lives to help us get back on our feet. And yet, we all know that everything in life that we do has consequences, whether positive or negative. We all have consequences. When we do wrong, there are negative consequences. When we do right, there are positive consequences. Some would even say this is the law of nature. There are even times in our lives After we make bad choices, we bring problems on ourselves and then wonder why our prayers are not being answered. Just like the writer, when you know you are doing what's right and pleasing, not only will evil people attack you, but watching the prosperity of evil people will sometimes discourage you. But listen, understand this. Where the psalmist or the writer went to gain understanding about the destiny of the wicked, the place where the writer went to gain understanding about his disappointments, to gain understanding about his sadness, to gain understanding about his depression, was the sanctuary. We go into the sanctuary, we learn of the destiny of people. It's in the building of the four walls, a waiting congregation. You'll find a preacher standing in the pulpit, proclaiming the word of God. It's in the building where you will find a room set aside and designated that we call the sanctuary, where all the members and all the believers and all those who want to hear about the goodness and the mercy of their Creator. The sanctuary is where we go to and see how the followers and the disciples and the members, the preachers, how they are reminded that in a little while, things are going to get better in our lives, but from time to time, there's going to be a period where you just have to hold on because your blessings are on the way. At some point in our lives, we all have felt like the writer, full of hurt and pain, full of disappointment and sadness. All of our feet almost slipped and we nearly lost our foothold when we saw the prosperity and the progress of people that mean no one any good. But because we enter the sanctuary, we are able to understand the momentary pleasure has no long-range future. Over the Thanksgiving holiday, for those who celebrate and observe Thanksgiving, and for those who may observe the first fruits of the harvest, or for those who may observe what we call Quayamoja as an alternative to Thanksgiving, I was having a conversation, and in the conversation, it was brought up that ever since the COVID pandemic, it seems like the attendance of many churches of many different denominations, of many different religions, has decreased. It appears that the sanctuary is not as full as it was before the COVID pandemic. It appears that the people are not coming to the sanctuary or the temple or to church. Even the mega churches, the churches with thousands and thousands of members, appears to have lost membership or have individuals not coming out to the sanctuary. Now, one could debate the reasons why, but it is a reality. And you will find leaders, you will find preachers, you will find spiritual leaders and pastors pleading for the members to come back into the church, pleading for the members to come back into the sanctuary. Might I submit to you that as you listen to my voice at this moment, that when we talk about the sanctuary and the sanctuary being a place that we are able to understand, that sanctuary where we're able to gain wisdom, that sanctuary we're able to learn about ourselves, that sanctuary where we are able to learn about life and how do we navigate ourselves through life, might I submit to you today that we not think of the sanctuary as the building, but that you are the sanctuary. Think about it. How would you feel if a storm came and blew the church building down? If the church, think about it for a moment. How would you feel if a storm came and blew the church building down? What if the building, the church, the temple was destroyed and you could not access the sanctuary that you have become so familiar with? There are other sanctuaries all around your area, block after block, neighborhood after neighborhood. There's churches and synagogues and temples and mosques all around. Some even 24 hours a day. It's not hard to get to a sanctuary. As a matter of fact, for most people, they can be there quicker than a blink of an eye. For some people, excuses and hesitations keeps them from going into the sanctuary. For other people, trust and commitment takes a back seat to self-will. But if you are willing to go, you will receive peace that passes all understanding. If you are willing to go into the sanctuary, you'll receive strength to make it through another day. You can stay as long as you want. There is not a time to be in or out. You can shout as long as you want. This particular sanctuary that I'm talking about is right there in your mind, right there where spirit dwells, right there where you can find your higher self. It won't disappoint you, nor will it let you down. It won't criticize you, nor be cruel to you. It won't cause you sadness or even cause you pain or shame. But this sanctuary will give you comfort. This sanctuary will give you peace. This sanctuary will give you joy. This sanctuary will give you understanding. This sanctuary will give you guidance. This sanctuary remind you that weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning when you go into the sanctuary of your mind. So don't get upset when you see the prosperity of ungodly people, because their days are numbered. Then they will be no more. It's in the sanctuary of your mind that nobody can enter but you. All you have to do is to receive this sanctuary, enter in this sanctuary, because this sanctuary is you. I trust that you will seek your higher self in the sanctuary. Thank you for listening to another episode. To see success is to know success. To know success is to live it while obtaining it. To achieve success starts by freeing ourselves and our children from victimhood, to being victorious one step, one day, one challenge at a time. So that does it for this episode. You can also view my videos on YouTube at my YouTube channel, Doc Ken Smither. Many thanks to you, esteemed listener. Another exciting and informative episode will be coming up next Saturday. Stay tuned. And I will leave you with these words quoted by James Farmer Jr. in one of my favorite movies, The Great Debaters. We do what we have to do so we can do what we want to do. Until next time, I've been your host, Doc Smith.